Welcome back to the Cardinal Report. We're going inside the Cardinal corner with the softball team.
Hi, this is Ruby, and this is the North Central Softball College team, and I'm joined with our shortstop, Laura Mash Whitfield. So Mash, I hear you're going to Australia in fall. What are you most excited for?
I am really excited to go scuba diving on the Great Barrier Reef. That's right.
And I hear you have a new take on the game of softball. Would you care to explain what that is?
The catcher and myself, LC, Laura Constantine, decided we were talking one day about the possibility of playing with a pickle instead of a ball. So we made up a whole sport on how to play softball with a pickle.
And how exactly does that work?
Well, you have to have a bun as your mitt, and we use a salami as a bat.
Very interesting. I don't know how coach would like that. So you biffed it in front of our largest crowd at the field this year?
Well, against Illinois Wesleyan, my shoe had a very big loop in it, and my cleat got caught in it. And so when I fielded the ball, I went to throw and just flew forward and smashed face first onto the ground. And I was told by the sports information director that everybody from the administration was there to see it. So that was great.
Very nice. Well, thank you for joining me, Nash. I'm joined here with catcher Justine Walker. So, Justine, what is one thing that you would love to see done with our field by the time we're seniors? I know it's a stretch, but what would you like to see done?
By the time we're seniors, I would love to have bathrooms. That would be a really great thing, as well as dugouts.
Why are you called Hote?
Well, Holly went to Costa Rica in the fall, and so she knows lots of Spanish now, and I am a Spanish minor. And everybody calls me Jay, and Jay in Spanish is Jota, and so Hote is short for Jota.
The North Central College softball team would love to thank our supporters and fans for coming out and watching us this season, and we promise that our end of the season will be quite a thrilling one. Thanks again. Have a good one.
Thanks, ladies. We welcome onto the show North Central College Sports Information Director Clark Teuscher. Clark, when you look at the baseball team, they lost on April 17th, 11-7 to Carthage, but they've rattled off 5 straight victories since, including a sweep of Wheaton College where they outscored the Thunder 41-19.
Yeah, it's a pretty astonishing accomplishment when you consider how good Wheaton's been offensively all season long. They were at the top of the conference lead in most of the power offensive categories, and were really neutralized in 2 out of those 3 games. And the one where they weren't, we were able to light the pitching up for 23 runs, which is the highest they've scored all season.
Wow. And, when you look at the Cardinals' offense, you're talking about a nationally ranked offense. These guys are really good.
Yeah, they're in the top 20 in 3 or 4 different offensive categories. I think the biggest thing about them is there's not a chance to take a mental break for a pitcher. It doesn't get any easier from 1 to 9. Our number 9 hitter hits 380 for the year, so it's just one of those things where it's a constant amount of pressure, and eventually, a pitching staff is going to break.
Yeah, I know the guys said they're having a lot of fun with the way the season's going this year. We had a chance to catch up with the Cardinals in Game 1 against Wheaton at Alexian Field in Schaumburg.
I think it's something, a little bit special. We get to play on a minor league field. It's an independent team. It's still, but it's still a game. We got to come out. We got to execute. They're a good team. They've been ranked, and we ended up on top today.
And on that infield hit, pretty much just put the ball in play, and then speed kills. We heard them. We had more speed than they did, and that's where we executed with our speed. Our pitchers, Mike Kloss, can't say enough about him. Just a hard worker in general, so he deserves to get that win.
My fastball was feeling really well today. I think that inning that I struck out all three, I think I finished them all off with fastballs. That inning I was a little bit more off the plate. I was, those weren't typical strikes. I got guys chasing a little bit, and it worked out pretty well for me.
We're on top of the world right now. It feels great on campus. Back when we're as a team, it just feels great just being together, being on top.
Clark, you can just see the excitement on the guys' faces, just rattling off all these victories. Do you see it on campus too?
Yeah, well, obviously winning is a lot of fun, and everybody likes following a winner. So we're starting to see some more attendance at games and things. Even not just with students, with some of the professors and staff members on campus. So certainly there's a little bit of a buzz going. right now, and we're interested to see how this plays out the next couple of weeks.
Cardinals, they're in first place in the CCIW, 12-3 record. North Park, they're in second place, 11-4 record, followed by Carthage and Illinois Wesleyan. Augustana and Illinois Wesleyan, the only two opponents left in the CCIW for the Cardinals. How do you see things shaking out?
Well, Augustana has been in kind of a funk the last 3 or 4 weeks. They started off really well on non-conference play. Not a team that really does anything to knock you out. Illinois Wesleyan's a team that's relied on its pitching this year, hasn't had a whole lot in terms of offense. So some interesting matchups coming up, but obviously we feel pretty good about where the Cardinals stand in both of those two matchups.
Clark, earlier this week, the football team announced 33 commitments from student athletes. They're currently in the spring part of their season. Just talk about the football team right now.
Well, they've addressed a lot of needs with their recruiting right now. They're not done yet. They've got several individuals that they're still talking to, and some that are committed but haven't completed all the necessary paperwork for us to publicize their involvement with the program. Several of them have been out to the spring practices, very eager to get involved with part of the program, and it certainly looks like, according to the coaches at least, it has the potential to be at least the best recruiting class they've ever had.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Thorne said in his 8 years it could be his best class. Well, moving on to track and field, the men's team really shined at the Drake Relays, the 101st Drake Relays, and this is an event with a lot of Division I schools participating. But the 4x400 meter relay team, and this is the same group that competed at the Nationals in the indoor, John Caron, John Howard, Dayton Hendrickson, and Dan Benton, they pulled off an automatic qualifying performance.
Yeah, that was the third fastest time in North Central history, and those are some pretty good teams that they're up against on that list there. None of those guys had competed at the Drake Relays before in any capacity. So, and with an atypical atmosphere, with the kind of crowds and things that you're going to have at that meet, it certainly speaks to their mental fortitude to be able to pull off that kind of a performance, the best they've ever done by far, under those kind of circumstances.
Absolutely, rising to the occasion. Well, also doing the same thing in the 5,000 meter run where Michael Spain and Kyle Brady, Spain finished in 5th place, Brady took 8th.
And that was out of 17 or 18 guys who were the rest of them were all Division I competitors, among the top in the country. And that was really important in terms of the entire team's performances, because they were the first ones to compete, so they really set the tone for a weekend of outstanding performances.
Well, now Brady won the indoor 5,000 meter run. He won the national championship. Spain, he was held out. He had an illness during the indoor season. And now Spain beat Brady by 3 spots. Are we looking at maybe a 1-2 finish?
Well, Mike's got something to prove after what happened with indoor. He wasn't happy with having to perform at less than what he was capable of, so he's certainly got some renewed vigor in the outdoor season in both the 5K and the 10K. He's got some of the best times in the country, and Kyle's right there with him. Once you get to a national championship event, those times aren't going to hold up necessarily. So, anybody in that top group, has a chance to win. And Kyle certainly proved that at the indoor nationals, winning the 5,000. So, certainly they're as talented as anybody in the field in either event, but we'll have to wait and see what happens at the meet itself.
Certainly. Well, the tennis team, lacrosse team's finishing up this week. We're all eagerly anticipating postseason play. Thanks a lot, Clark.
Thank you.
Well, stay tuned next week as we sit down with the baseball team to talk about their conference matchup with Augustana. NCTV 17 is always keeping you connected with your area sports scene. I'm Jeff Mahoney. See you next time on your community television leader, Channel 17. Go Cardinals.